Sawachi. Oh, yeah. Not just some maba. Na Sawachi. Oh, yeah. Not just some maba.
Asama bentina nano pe yebo ye Tonton Sansan. Eti amanse nyine obi antena se na muntie. Muntie sempa efri His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Hoba. Ebi mu peso mo gina no esi bone. Eye tini enti na asem na se anase nokura ene ye no mibisa. Pani ye mpe nokura wo man Ghana. Pani ye pese wo ya manyo semu ene se wa bro panyi bi ba bedan ne ni swade huna kire ye wo kwan a ye befa so akikire man. Pani ye pese dani dan nyina ye mpanifo yi ebetwa toro akire ya na. Anatro ni na da ya ye de tete ye within the past 7 getting to 8 years ya ye so used to it to say ye ya beja tum say what say ka ye dada setra ho ana Ghana for me bisamo. Now mama found chance here every I say let's go as far back as 2015. What biana na me ye adwuma kan no join news file gabi otre da ko enro ka che Ebola Ase say ono woni influence bia wa ba mu woni to me bia wa ba mu na momo yo bia owo influence ye me enro ka che Ebola Ase was start chat say ono woni to me yo memom owo influence na bola te di o kana say bola say menti ase kirem ye obadwam ena ofa kokwasa 2015 opanyin a manfo ato ne din say de facto prime minister Kotina news file. Chabo Mahama Aban, that entity of the Ghana IMF. And you see, at that time, what Diana Mahama Nina, no Boabo, Manfo Adriano, yet Nasi Yeboja, yet what to a dream. Na ye pe and no megu krata so, na ye jina so dia ko IMF chinyi narano. Dabi ote da komo, e Kotina Kasafuni so, and the Kasafidie so, e Chabo His Excellency. John Mama, yentie we na me hwia, me gira so de atre asem bi so e de atre tie we mama.
I think it's important to look at it. First of all, how many countries are currently receiving IMF bailout? And why are they doing so? And these are countries that have failed in managing their finances. I think that's how you have to look. We went, because the bottom line, we are going to the IMF because we have been reckless. We have been to the point of even what one could allege criminality in some regard. Notice government has been overborrowing from the central bank, and beyond that, we are having issues as we speak. This year so far, the CD is the worst performing currency in Africa. This year so far, so. Really, the idea is to see how that can help pop it up. We need the IMF because we have lacked discipline in solving our own issues. But the money from the IMF, I'm not too sure how far that will go in resolving the issues. Because don't forget, 2 years ago, we went to the Eurobond to borrow 1 billion. We still had issues. That by the middle of last year, our currency was competing with the hryvnias. And you know, what is the good news? At what cost? One, they say they will remove all subsidies. Whether the subsidies are targeted at the poor or not, those subsidies are going. IMF are not necessarily interested in economic growth. IMF, their policies have never been to, as it were, help you create jobs. It is to make sure that, look, you can pay your debts. Okay? And paying debts doesn't necessarily directly benefit the Ghanaian. Because look, in Argentina, they've stopped them from even, they have to cut down the salaries to what? Doctors and teachers. In June, if you're not careful, what's happening with the doctors? So all these things are tied. Beyond that, what are the other things that they are looking for us to do? They're also saying that there should be government should do what they call right sizing. You know, now they use terms. It's really downsizing or just laying people off. But now they say right sizing because they feel that the size is not right. So lay people off. But clearly, It is not going to happen. Workers are going to suffer, and they're not going to suffer because the IMF says so. Okay. They are going to suffer because we have been reckless in how we spend the money that we've been getting. Right. Because, look, bottom line, brother, over the last 6 years alone, revenues from gold.
When the course of 2015, and then someone will come for my buying no, and then what the tutu are buying you, and the crowd IMF. Any bra wabrim po and sana sikan kayeno yensaka. I mean, which you bet you say. What and also about describe say as a result of a binary recklessness and your IMF. As a result of at a certain point criminalities 18 and abino our IMF a war bre. And your mama IMF no coin say or corner in sapine. And as Sansan walk on, one Ghana for tenase, and my Ghana for show my drain, one woman car, and was he a Timmy ye, a bit my boy is in Cassam. Senchi or Fredom, Boja, my baneful and him before buy ye. And more prepare homegrown solutions. It walk IMF from one consa pine swore, they said ye, Gabby Ochedako, or cousin, and they Ninia Kitway Baumie, and ye koye. One course applying. So these were the issues are no more raising at that time. And then they told me about someone some. And then Moshe baby amodi o my Ghana go draw. About Yesika Samswa. Moshe baby amodi Ghana go draw. And another the entire me raises our point way is simply because of a choir John Dramani Mahama Memuomuno or dying at this one Ghana for the album. One yenny tintin to say, Menkwana menam, to say, ye, MPP are buying a. Me, I come and call Esria, or dying a dino, and Untina, and she say, no, Ebuatia is a sano. To the sense, I am a Fabao cranty, I was here at the 2 years old, including a year and I'm Kanya Sika yetia. A bar, a crime of funti. Eti ye for so mo amoma wurawura miamia hodwa ordinarily komura eno so dia ho kire foforo e ba beto eto Ghana for so eti se ne John Dramani Mahama e dan na di se wona mamwo na nam kwan so a e ba no wo betena se na wabodwa na wone Ghana for ato adwen wabra wabie eye oman ni sikasem nwoma e so dia kire Ghana for ama ye nyina ye nya ye ho ntiase or say ya across within the past 7 to 8 years. What kind of money will come best? I said, we bonnie ben waka wom. So I can say, Nam Senti, ye ba ben moi, a ya mama ye bre, mama ya quenya, mama ye bre wa bra. Yet ye nimpa say, and I say, ye can't say, ye one man named Ma, womo, ever work 24 hours. I ain't sure say, ye sick as seven, ebe see ye, bonnie ben pan wa, asemi or kaimo. And for the sake of argument, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ninsem no kind of enche will be a Ghana registered or Ghana registered Nurses Association, Oka Trade Union Congress one. So when Tie said ye, His Excellency John Mahama, a can asema, Mema opportunity be Brabetie. Nema Obia na dao. Say, Openina Kabibia, Ebony. Yewe.
And I'll plead with the teachers' unions, NAT and NAGRAT and UTAG and TEU and all of them. And all of you are clamoring for allowances, increase in your allowances and so on and so forth. Let me caution you that in 2025, inshallah, after we take over, we will show you the books and the finances of this country. And you realize the harm that the MPP administration has done to Ghana's economy. This country is broke. And so we would beg you that when we come into office, give us a bit of a honeymoon. Let's put things in place so that we can bring the economy back on its feet. And when we have done that, we can accede to your demands again. And that's why I'm being very measured in the promises that I make. Because we all know the crisis in which this country has been plunged.
John Mahama yobia yamfa tro ene tete no. John Mahama yobia woka no kra wonhwe nachi. John Mahama enti se Kufuado eti mo amopɛ sɛ John Mahama ne kasa eye se Kufuado anaba omia no. Forget it. It will not happen today. It will not happen tomorrow. That is not the kind of leadership Ghana here. No. That is not the kind of leadership Ghana here. I say more kind. Boni be bande wom. Say me ba. Be bodwa. Na ya tena se. Na ya bie enwoma nim. Ye sika sem nwoma mu. Nkrata animu. Na ya bie so. Na ya che Ghana for. Sɛdeɛ ɔsɛyɛ no ɛsi akɔ ne mpɛmpɛnso a adu. Na wabra yɛyɛ saa no. Munya abotre mayen wabra ye di sa adwuma no tie o wabra ye di sa adwuma no munya abotre mayen mumma ye break akra. That does not mean say woma omo bre no omo ba beda o ti utie kasa na one day na di say wabra mumma omo bre no omo ba beda ana say omo di omo say be so omo demri famu wabra wo hwe nkrata mu no eye adwuma eti sa adwuma no eno no obegina so e de atu anamon Abwa, amo my Ghana sikasem ye. That is a plan. That is a plan. Na Ghana for yempe wenya edi ebion yepe. Eti menko ha wenya anase ma wo expectation so. This no kranie. No kranie say ya bo on my Ghana cut to the point to say ye da kwawe so. Kwanse ni mo are. Oh my Ghana bosso no agita to the sense one kasamu investment amaye through treasury bills, cocoa bills, then the Hong Kong no and now binding and say kika. And now buying a one buy no din and yatre. One kasamu investment must some fifre a juma my ye a one and ne a buy no din and yes ye. So what you so dia ye a can see. So that should tell you the level I drew. It is when your penny say, no abejina wanim, Ghana Registered Nurses Association, Trade Union Congress. When your penny say no abejina wanim, any other unions, no abejina wanim, then what can no crazy yachro? Achro say, wabra, what can no cranachro no so, or say, obetu one among. Wobedi hujuma. A car yaboye, and a sika who do a ye Ghana sika, and you call botobonimu. And you move sometimes Moncha Margin say, I buy a oba, or making sure so obejiji nina. I'm on for Joe Margin, sir. Eti wabra wash and crat emuno. And yes, what's yada? Shall wash and crat emuno a year juma. Is it not work? It is work. It is a process. Eti wabra wash and crat emuno so. Now, what's na information I will benya eswo. Edi two anamon in the interest of the Republic of Ghana. It is a said ye yen tum no krano. And he say, a Kufuado baumia bayi. Waba say mine. Waba sign to the point say, Yesika someone yet. And yet, yakra woman say, Wabra ye da kwa so. A confi for crampo pe in Puntunuma and ye trouble will say, and now so man twama a ye MPP in tea. Na Kufuado war drink Ghana hono e konfia dwen krampo ensi ni trim wo sheda mani refi wo mo wo yomu wadwen afri ni trim. And again John Dramani Mahama ba bonten abekasa afa sa amemo star no ene sa esana na do danko Kufuado ne ba omia mo peso mu twa tweet ne to so His Excellency John Mahama e tweet no fa to so na yen kenkan kakra yema mansa entie. You will not expect such John Mahama a best Kufuado. It will not happen today. It will not happen tomorrow. So, or yes, Kufuado. And your Ghana and Sakrana, ye peno kwambeso. So, John Mahama Kasati se baumia and Sakrana, ye peno kwambeso. A bekako see ye saying. Ye pe leader of Bekano crouch. Ye pe leader of Amia who your problem. Now, Wabra Wamia who your problem. No, what's not problem. No, so, to one amount, a problem, no free. So, and that is what John Mahama is communicating. Okay, Bibia, what I say, one who about Betiada. And I metaphor no use you know. I don't know my for drinks are about better. Now I am be a ma wareno, Boko honeymoon, a yada dear Namoko, and Nakwana Mokoda. wabra amada moji mani no mondwendwen kwan a mobefa so abo aware bra no mondwendwen ho. And you have a president who will sit boldly at the seat of government. How can you pay say? And I'm say a certain section of Ghanaians, Ghana phobia, and I'm so man to a money party in tea. A bampuntu nyuma, omu wadwen efri ni tirim. And this is what John Mahama is saying, Mr. Wamekosrona, yankan ni nyina one by one na fe amanfo ehunu de John Mahama. Say the president's comment that he ignored the development of Ekumfi because they voted out his parliamentarian. It's most unfortunate. President Akufo-Addo has a penchant for making such partisan statements, as we witnessed recently during the visit to flood victims in Mepe. His actions contradict the oath he swore as president to do justice to all manner of persons. And why your constitution mo and a friend so say omusha konfrani mo na omusha insua e ya some moka say obeye no ma peri say the beye be so obia so. John Mahama to us, let me also remind him of chapter 6 of our constitution, specifically Article 36, Clause 2D, which stipulates the need for governments to undertake even and balanced development of all regions and every part of each region of Ghana, and in particular, improving conditions of life in rural areas and generally redressing any imbalance in development between the rural and the urban areas. And what you may say, you may puntu nyuma bambi obebebia mampenya obebebiano. And was say you usuni oban, and was say you woni, and was say you wanamontuo. So behwe say empuntu nyuma beso kron kese ni kron kitwa nyina aso. Na obechemu pepepe. Unyu obi enfrim. And what you may mu. And now Gabi Ochida Kubra no ne Bolare Kasose, Minia no way nimuni. The Mrebia on the Betinasia, wouldn't the bedding come a wabra yet to adre, wabra a month for day, I drink Jahood or Ebrano. And now so Yambre Nimunino, Yana Mrebiano, do to our drink, Shannon Yana, or Pesu Betty, Nemo, Ansan or Bettino. And Branimu for the said the Munim said ye sit Tieno, Ayana ye tai jet near. What catch a ball and ra. So if that is Akufo-Addo in this position, then clearly we should all not be surprised. So what dance idea we ready? Say Mrebiano, answer no budget to draw. I drink that tumuno. I will say what dine at this or no so I drink chebi. Now what did not so the jet ni. And could that be what he was displaying? And now say I'm pampa. Partisanship unti. Why you saw Baba Kumfi for it more day. A Kumfi for this year Bekasa wo station has say, almost say Mampenny Nanado Brabe Pacho. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say, Nia Nana Akufo-Addo dying a D was saying she muno wo Jubilee House no 1 etiamra 2. A confra was so musa ye ne nsema wo kan ye no ene ne ba bra. No kure My point is John Mahama is a truthful person. And Mahama can never be like Akufo-Addo. Mahama can never be like Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Eti wa wote Ghana, we expect to say, and what's on Mokasa ne, or mobile mobile John Mahama mo, a bomb basis and in Noma, Wombeka Wabra, Womanam campaign platform, no, and yes, a MPP for the no, what from Pine. Ghana for na yepeno, and yes, as soon be near power. Yepempenifua, Omuni edi bedini ye, Yepempenifua, Omuni obuoni and Nidia by my. And now someone can say, Yeba 2020, Yeba in 2025, Yeba Dania being Kratem, and only Chessa will poor any Nidia de Magana for. Obian called the best and a motrum. Now, Obegina Simpiaswa, what the Aya Yampia. Now, what two Yampia bo. A political party, I know what Bema, Sabran, Wabe opposition political party. John Mahama just say, send your near Zikon and no, on Quanasabio. It is a paradigm shift. I don't know a dynasty. So, Miss Ramo and Penny 4. Did you, Mamma, did not the labor unions? I know. asem na John Mahama kan na nya bone na if any of you muntie video no full one na mesra mo monje adaje monje bre na muntie ni ye na muntie ni ye and munyina munim no kura no eba yesi kasam entoto ye ho a munyina munim no kura no ne ba bi a yeduro allowances ahodo omo kira mo boss e omo de be ma mo no adenti no mo ntimi fa ma mo se sika wo ho a se koma tam de ama mo ene free SHS here a free 2017 ebesi sabria ya kase na do ma no se Ghana sika nyina na ye di chemu enye ene nya no maba ya nche se de awofo ya bie kwan no mo betimi di sika beta akiri sika wo ho a kom be kase se sika ni ho eti John Mahama say yenye measured in our expectations wabra ye hwe anim say aban foforo no edi bibi foforo beba no Mumyemfa aboase tokwan so yenya abotre yensi abotre kakra wabra ye hunu ye sikasam no kra no se de sitie because bibia da di pefe say aban we de normal bebre asie yai. When was the last time a Kufuado man who kwan say Ghana and Sendrefo mumda Jubilee House na mumba bi sebisa no certain critical questions are e da Ghana for adwum and I say e da Ghana for akoma pono so. When was the last time hunu sa omo ba aban mu fresh no mo ye 1-2 bi e di biri ye ni so no ano no the way you buy your water accountability, where you buy your waje, pay your tuma. We get this again, normal be say busy. What are we talking about? What exactly are we talking about? And I'm saying that aquarius so tear dear, a drop of one soka. A fast and ketria dear, or the barber costro. And when she mukesi be a costro between a drop of four and a asenka fono. As soon as when you shadow mammy. Transport Ministry, TWA, statement in reported increase in public transport fares. The ministry has cited publications in the media by commercial road transport operators reporting an increase in public transport fares in the country effective Wednesday, January 24, 2024. We wish to inform the general public that there has not been any negotiation with transport operators for a review of transport fares. We therefore urge the general public to disregard the purported increase. When it becomes necessary for such negotiations and decisions are taken, the general public will be appropriately informed. As has been done in the past, the ministry will continue to ensure fair and reasonable public transport fares, keeping in mind the needs of transport operators and general public. We APR. And no wonder say public relations unit of transport ministry and they are saying we better do that. But I drop off on us in Kete. So kaya normal boy e was soro pa akwan no so enye akwan ne se omo ka ho noma na akwan ne se omo ka ho noma no mo kwa boso kai se omo kwa goto a ebo no wo soro eto omo gina sa de we so en edi enti na normal boy e normal ye krefra manane ba Ghana edi enti na ne bo na koso exchange rate ti di na ho odin no how be na ma we nyina aba it is a obi President Mahama Kacho say my Ghana sika sam nye na woba bia nwoma mu am ye hunu nokure no se de sitia onika. In this case transport ministry statement yi ene nada ya wo pese nada mfonyi ya wo twa akere ye a wo pa che say droba fo ni akonya say ombetoto fam no na no obutu mo akwoche omo de se fata say wo sam ye no mo nye which is a normal boy akosoro no eno de mo address it adroba for no anama omo peso omo tu so omo ba beto asenketua de mu no eno mom na mo de mani asi so no mo tu ma de na mbeti wa yo mo adroba for ni bia ka kire wa ha na no ye ne GPRT for kasa omo busasa bi busa omo sa kwashe se anenti na mo ntwen na mo ne ministry no enya nhyiamu na mo nkọ benkro mo se cha tete 7 ye jaye they said ye nko sa because some ye betu no mamu e wo dwoma ye mbebo obi akokọ ye to apa na no ma bo kosoro eti adroba for no posturing ene omu bibia ne say sa na tie de ene ye so sa ne enso ye bekọ no eti saban wo bibi yo e fa senketua de ya adroba for say omu peso omu tum ya ye bibi fa no ma bo na akosoro no wo ye bibi fa ho a ebeboa ene kwan be so na abeye masidi ni nya ahoden sidi na okogina Santa Maria ɛka sa ayɛ hata no ɛna ayɛ dɛ hwinim so nim fa so bia the driver for no support the position no and wait and here can was him but my main for went to enough for young Beatrice Anan Nimini or His Excellency John Drama or Kasama His Excellency John Dramani Mama but on Crony and Tenasia Bebwana Amiate His Excellency John Dramani Mahama the Niswa Dihunini and some man for me mamma Maswa Titu Efa Asema John Mahama Castle Muba Ghana for more bre wa bra Omudi Yesika Sam Hujuma Ebebaso but quickly Black Stars of Ghana game near course one. Said the amount for reactions Esibino yet take a Mami first one Yanko.
Game no one is saying.
Coach was a young good back on our quiet now. No young go for William.
Ade.
Just go to a young go but not to be quiet now, William.
So you predicted win for Black Stars. Unfortunately, it was a draw.
It's an advantage.
Okay, advantage, but not a win.
No.
But were you impressed with the Black Stars game today?
No, not
Why?
at all. Because, I was expecting the coach to do more, to do better. Because your lineup worked for you, which shows that you need people to progress the ball into the 18-yard of the people. So when you had the win, you should just bring in your wingers. You have Joseph Pinsel, you have Noama sitting on the bench. You know your midfield is not really strong. Ashmeru got injured. You are supposed to just take Ashmeru out, which you did. And then bring in your wingers. Salisu and Jiku will just be crossing the ball to them. Then it will be an air ball. We get another chance. Then we score again because you don't have a strong midfield to progress the ball for you. So I seriously didn't know what Chris Hughton was doing.
You think it's a coach
So right now,
issue, not the players?
Right now, as it stands now, it's not the players anymore because they played their hearts out. Right now, the next thing that we need to do and what Ghanaians need to do right now is that we should get the coach sacked.
How many coaches are you guys going to change?
The thing is that we have attackers. Right now, as it stands, when you look at our football structure, the people that they normally call, we have wingers and then we have attackers more who are playing day in, day out in Europe and places. You get it. So, you know that we don't have a standard midfield to play for us now. Make good use of your games. If you start the ball and then you see that your first 20 minutes, you need wingers, or when you examine the match and you're like, no, this match will be good when I put in my wingers. Just do that because your wingers too are not bad. Your wingers are not bad at all. Who just risk his injury to come and play for us? Then he delivered. How do you feel?
No. Vana Casa, Mamini Piao. But answer near Becono. Unim say a year African Cup of Nations, I have on Ivory Coast. And you be Chagu or stadium among for business. I didn't know free Ghana and answer, and you know, one Timu, a Munsa Masintina, what can you Gusano? I gave you Ghana for game. You know, TV. No money about a game for France. Nanya Ghana game. Obviously, DJ in Ghana, Ghanaian DJ. A J. Quayas, and then Friday, get the Tonton Sansan. Ebesia, something to do not a catch on a far game. Pa! She
A man, Maya. And yo, woman. A Paso Biaba, a Dwabo Ase. Now, assembly will be a walk. Never money yet. Consum. Mumai, but Robert Dog, Mumai, for Sampa.
If I shall be an amateur, dear bag.
Bra, and not so good.